Here's a question you might be missing. Are you trying to sell MBSE to a management or a team? Ugh. Are you trying to persuade others, maybe it's management or your team, to move to a model-based systems engineering solution, play with a new tool, or get a new digital process up and running in your development program? Well, this question might help as you dialogue with your colleagues, with your management, and to make the business case for going MBSE. And just to emphasize, not every situation requires MBSE as a solution. And this question is going to help decide between those two cases. So you have a pain point, let's assume. We're either behind schedule, we need to do things more quickly, or there's some problem we're trying to solve. The question is, what, if it had been in place, would have prevented this problem? So for instance, you're in an automobile. Let's say you're in a severe accident and there's some injuries. Okay, if there were no seatbelts being worn, then you can make the case, well, what, had it been in place, would have prevented these severe injuries? Okay, putting on a seatbelt. Okay, simple example, but in a way, MBSE solves a pain. And I mean, obviously car accidents are quite serious, but we're trying to maybe keep our program from crashing. So if we lead with that question, we can ferret out, not only the pain point, but get people thinking, hey, if we had something before, how could we have avoided this? Now, a corollary to this is that sometimes the answer is not an MBSE solution with a digital ecosystem. For instance, we'll go to those power supplies. If we built the wrong power supply 2 or 3 times, maybe the problem is configuration management. So if a configuration management system had been in place, we would have prevented, having built the wrong power supply. Or that answer could be change control. Honestly, maybe someone just didn't have the right version of the drawing or forgot to check in the right version of the drawing from their local hard drive onto the, on the server where, the repository sits. So there are a lot of questions that can come up, but a lot of answers too that might not be MBSE. So we want to start with this question. Okay, what, had it been in place, would have prevented this? That could provoke more questions, but it could also provoke different answers. And then all of a sudden you're pulling different things out. One of those answers may very well be MBSE, particularly if you're trying to save labor costs. The main point is we're now speaking other people's language, we're helping them problem solve, and they can come up with a solution that we secretly hope they do, or we also agree with. Now they have more ownership of it too. So try that question in your dialogue when you're trying to engage with management, where you're trying to persuade, and I think you'll find you'll get a little more traction and a little more energy around coming up with a solution. It might not be MBSE, but you'll still get credit for having helped the team, helped the program, and also being a bit more of a broad thinker than just doing our engineering work. Hey, comment below if you have experience with this or if you have other questions, and I'll get back to you.